All right, all right. What's up, man? I had to come on here because this is just freaking crazy, guys. Seriously, this Shawn Ryan interview
Came from
is just
Ocean Beach,
so
where
much
the waves
bullshit.
still preach. Now he speaks on the steps, freedom within reach. City council shook when he let that
tune
roar.
down the intro here.
On notice, echo through the chamber.
So Shawn Ryan interviews Brian Harpole, and he's the head of security at Integrity Security, that was supposed to be the people stopping Charlie Kirk from being assassinated. Now, if you watch this video, I would tell you to watch the entire thing. It's 2 hours and 48 minutes long. It's quite long, but I was going to watch it and comment on the entire thing. But if I do that, it's going to be like, I don't know, 6 hours long because I'm going to be commenting every 5 seconds on it. So while it's still hot, while it's still going, I'm sure Candace Owens is going to tear this guy a freaking new asshole, Brian Harpole. Okay. We one thing if he wasn't lying directly. Okay. So I already posted a video about he says, they're like, what's this conspiracy theory about there being a trap door? A trap door? What are you even talking about? It's crazy. And then Ryan's like, oh, Shawn's like, was there a trap door? He's like, no. You sure? No trap door. No. And so he doesn't even say, oh, well, it was a hatch. It wasn't a trap door. It was an access place for, underneath the fountain, whatever. Doesn't mention that there is a room down there. He just point blank says there is no such thing. Now, this same guy goes on later on in this show to talk about how they were there for weeks ahead of time, casing the joint, checking all the roofs and checking all the angles and everything, making sure Charlie wouldn't care. I mean, the whole thing is a giant, basically, cover story. It's almost like a friendly deposition, or like a lawyer walking you through all the questions that you might get asked. So I'm wondering, is this company going to get sued? If they're not going to get sued, I don't know why they're not going to get sued, because whether he's guilty of actually allowing it to happen, he's actually completely guilty of criminal negligence. Like, he shows this text. He's like, this text where I talked to the police and I said, hey, can you let us have one of our guys on the roof, or maybe put a guy over there? And he's like, yeah, I got you, bro. And he leaves that, doesn't even bother like saying, like, you got me, like, you're putting a guy there, or you're going to allow my guy there. And then it goes on later on talking about, oh, we had this guy and we were making sure that those cops were here, and we was on him like a wild dog, making sure that those cops were there everywhere but this rooftop. And he goes on and on about how great the security company is and how great of a job everyone did and how they did all they could do. And then he goes on about how there's they couldn't put a drone up. I can't do anything illegal. I can't do anything illegal. And then he's like, we just can't put a drone up. They can't do it. I would do it if I could. And then later he's like, well, how did you, he's like talking about the environment. He's like, yeah, I mean, we Google Earth that we did, maybe they saw that was there. There's that, there's a loophole, what he calls it, which is the spot right in front of Charlie on the roof. It's not like some weird spot. It's like pretty fucking obvious. He already called out that was a spot of interest. Didn't bother looking up there. Didn't bother calling, as you see later in the video. He didn't bother calling to say, hey, did you get that guy over there? Or is it you guys are got it covered? Goes on later on talking about, oh, we called to make sure that this is covered, and I got this covered, and you got that covered, and everything's covered, but the most obvious spot. Okay. I mean, the whole thing, to me, Shawn Ryan is an operator. He's like what they call a contractor who goes and murders people in other countries for the CIA, or protects people. I don't know if he physically murdered them, but you hear them talking like, oh yeah, we blow shit up. Oh yeah, kill people. Oh yeah, guns. Yeah, I have to do blood work. Yeah, oh, we seen it all. So don't tell me that these guys are little innocent honey bunnies, right? And he goes on to say, oh, are you working with Israel? He's like, no. I'm fully American. It's like, yeah, but you also are a hired gun, right? And don't tell me you haven't been in some foreign country and some shit didn't pop off and you didn't have to handle business. Okay. So you got hired. You're willing to be hired to be a freaking a gunman for whoever will pay you. And somehow or another, we're supposed to think you're above reproach. Now, I'm not directly accusing him of that because I don't have any particular information, but I know people who have been in this business for long enough in dangerous enough areas who talk constantly about how much blood they've seen and how many bullets they've fired and all this bullshit. Don't tell me none of them hit anybody and you weren't responsible for any of the action. It's just implausible. And so to me, at the end of the interview, he's like, well, thank you for letting me come on. So basically he hit him up. He's like, hey dude, I need to put some PR cover out there. My old, black ops buddy. Can you hook me up, Shawn? I know you're an old operator, as they call it, operator, contractor, these euphemisms they use for murdering people or killing people in other countries. BlackRock type stuff, or protecting people. Let me clarify. Protecting high value targets. And the whole video, he's just talking. The whole time he just uses all this jargon. He's in the bubble, the TCP, the FDEF, and the SICDEF, and the BIFDEF, and the BIFBA, like all talking about how great he is and how they have it all figured out. Well, look, bro, you fucking failed. Either you failed or you did it on purpose. And the thing that bothers me the most is he lies about the drone. He lies about the freaking trapdoor, point blank. And he knows these questions are set up. They pretend like, oh, these are going to be off the cuff and wild questions. They had a pre-interview. They knew all the answers. A lot of the time he's like looking over at something, almost like there's some kind of teleprompter that he has. I don't know if I couldn't find it in the screen, but I mean, he's constantly looking down to his left, like not just like, oh yeah, like staring at a screen as he's like prompting himself through this thing. And then they have a total breakdown in the middle, which is a fair enough. Okay, he's sad, and Charlie died, and God bless Charlie. And I'm not trying to piss on his grave or anything. The whole reality is this is bullshit. The guy's lying. The whole thing is a cover piece. The whole thing's a puff piece in the beginning, just talking about how amazing he is. Anyway, let's watch some of it, and then I'm probably going to just go and start screaming forward. And I have a couple of these. If you go watch the video yourself, you can actually see that there's let's see here. Well, on my phone, I can see it. I don't want to mess this screen up right now, but you can see that there's the different chapters are dialed in. So I'm going to try and show some of these chapters, but let's just get a feel for it. We'll play it for now for a bit, and they probably won't get past the first sentence before I have to jump in and say something.
Brian Harpole, welcome to the show.
Pleasure, Shawn. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you for coming, man. So, very heavy interview today. And so you were in charge of the security detail in the company when
Integrity.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated exactly 2 months and 1 day ago.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. So
I've been really quiet about this matter because so many people are out there on it, and it's a real shame, but it just got to be so much that I just did not trust my own eyes, ears, what I was reading, what I was watching. And I think a lot of people have sensationalized this, and and that is a real fucking shame, and it makes it impossible to find the truth.
It is, and it's not a word, but you said sensationalized, but it's like advantagealized, right? Just to take advantage of it. It's almost like sickening, and it has been. And really, that's kind of what drove me to come here.
Well, Brian, I know you and your team are taking a lot of flack, and and I commend you for the courage to come out and talk today on the show. And I just want you to know, I mean, I'm not a combative interviewer. I do have some tough questions that will be at the end, the questions that I've seen all throughout the internet, questions that people have, questions that I have. Some of them may seem a little absurd, but I think it's important to, just address all the major ones, at least all the ones that are on my radar. And so I just, once again, want to thank you for coming.
Nothing's out of bounds except for something that may be covered in the NDA that I did for a specific incident for them. And so if that's true, I would just say that. But literally, that's the big thing is that it's I'm sitting here, but the team is here. And that's the big deal. And they're representing them.
I want to, and I also just want to say, one, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk and God bless his family. And number two, I've lost friends, and I'm familiar with those type of scenarios. And I just want to say that I'm really sorry for what you and your guys are going through with losing your friend.
Thank you.
And also with everything that's coming along with that. So,
yes, sir.
But everybody starts off with an introduction here. Brian Harpole, a highly decorated law enforcement veteran who served as a police officer in Texas for 14 years. In 2008, you entered the private security world as operations manager for an elite Texas-based security firm where you specialized in executive and personal protection. Now you are a global private security contractor and trainer running your own company, Integrity Security Solutions, across 5 continents.
Integrity.
A graduate of Columbia College, you earned a Master Peace Officer license from the state of Texas, along with graduating from the International Law Enforcement School of Police Supervision in Southern Methodist University's Cape Intelligence Program. Most importantly, you are on the stage with Charlie Kirk as the head of his contracted security detail on September 10th when he was assassinated.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it,
All right.
just by thinking
Sorry
about
about
it.
that.
Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want
Ads I got to deal with.
and watch it take shape.
Yeah, I have to turn this down or go skip.
It's been 2 months since this tragedy, and there are a lot of unanswered questions, and people are starving for some answers. I know a lot of people are going to be very interested in what you have to say today, but I just kind of want to give it to you right now and give you the opportunity on why you've decided to come out.
You hit it. It's there's so much out there, and
Damage control.
and there's so much out there that's not true. And
Because
I was talking
because his company completely either failed or was complicit. And this guy's been raking in billions of dollars, millions of dollars off high value targets, saying, well, we've got these jujitsu masters, we've got all this, I've been in Iraq, Iran, we've got all these places, and we're going to take care of it, and we're the men, and we're the fucking badasses. And now everybody knows. I mean, would you hire this guy to protect you? I wouldn't.
to your staff earlier, I'm older, right? And I have guys on my team our team that are younger. And if the truth doesn't get out there, it could hurt their, 20 more years of work. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
And these are stellar individuals.
Yeah.
These guys are stellar. And, we've worked with just about every agency and police department across the nation and in the larger
You have
government, FBI, Secret Service. And I've got guys will come up to me and say, where did you get your guys? Where did you get these people? And the only response I've ever been able to make sense is I just tell them, man, I prayed them in. And
prayed him in. I prayed him in. You might have wanted to pray a little harder, because whoever you prayed in didn't do a very good job, because Charlie Kirk is dead.
And they came in, and our selection process is
I lost time.
unique, unparalleled.
Here he goes on. This is like a 20-hour screed about how they meet the people, how they talk to the people, how they're brothers with the people, how they're friends with the people, how they vet the people. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Let me see this, and I'll see it a good another spot to come in.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. And so
I like that cross on your jacket. Yeah, I thought it would I thought it'd be good to start this episode with a prayer.
Absolutely.
You okay with that?
That's what we all should do.
All right.
Yeah.
It's going to be super simple here. Jesus, I just want to thank you for having Brian here today. And we have just a couple of goals today with this interview, and that we ask that you be here with us in this interview. And we just want to bring some answers to unanswered questions here today and avenge Brian's team of these accusations and
of his actions,
conspiracies. And we basically just want to clear the air and get rid of the confusion. And we hope this helps. And we also just want to pray for Charlie and his family. And we hope that this rise in political violence comes to an end real fast. Amen.
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 Thank you.
My pleasure.
I believe in that.
Again, no offense to Charlie, but if these guys are lying, which he definitely is lying on plenty of issues, provably and verifiably, then I don't know how I feel about them invoking Jesus's name right before they set up lying. And what's that? Shawn Ryan's now like, I'm Mr. Cool Guy, bro. We're at my bar. But meanwhile, he's like totally sober the entire time. Nobody's drinking. We're like our nightclub. He's trying to out Joe Rogan. And then he has on all the biggest psyop people talking about aliens, disclosure, and all psyop chief commanders and people who are obviously spinning psyops. And he's like worked with the feds. He's a contractor. This guy worked with the feds. He's a contractor. They all have their secret little brotherhood. And I believe this is a bro out fest to help him rehabilitate his situation and to try and rehabilitate his company. I would never hire this company ever again. He should be hauled up for criminal negligence at the very least. This is total bullshit. So I'm going to skip forward to this because it goes on. Watch it yourself. And there's so many interesting things, even with the hand signals and the body language and everything. There's a million clips you could pull out of it. But they go on and on about how they vet their people and they're so good. It's all just about like, we're the best company. We have the best people. We have the best training. We have the best. It goes on for 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to skip that. We're going to get to here where he starts managing risk. And here, this is another like basically total fluff.
There's a lot of work that goes into making a podcast.
He basically goes on and on and on about how that wasn't really his deal, and we were in our bubble, and it's not our job to be covering these things, and this was someone else's job. And it's like someone who's supposed to be, in charge of a security team, that's supposed to be in charge of your life, that's charging God knows how much money for all of this operational awareness that he brings to the table. And then he keeps just going on excuse after excuse. Well, it wasn't my job. And I told the police commander he was in charge of that, but he never checked in on him. I thought they were going to put drones up. We weren't allowed to put drones up. But then later on he goes, oh, but we cased the joint earlier because the photography team put a drone up. And he totally just contradicts himself. And he's like, but those are small drones. It's like, how big of a drone do you need to get a video of something? Do you need some military drone with that's a gunship, or do you just need a little drone that you can fly around and keep an eye on the rooftops? Snipers. The type of shit that kills people. The type of shit that supposedly killed Trump. A rooftop that wasn't overlooked. You think this would kind of went through like, oh yeah, remember how snipers like rooftops? Oh yeah, I forgot that from my training in Fallujah. It's all coming back to me after the Trump assassination. So let's just hear some of this bullshit. We'll get to the meat and potatoes at the end. There's so many things in this that I really wanted to tear apart. Like I said, it's going to go on too long, so I can't get into all of it. Watch the whole thing. Tell me the most ridiculous parts in your mind.
It's good, of course.
Do any of your guys have any ties to any foreign intelligence agencies, more specifically Mossad?
No.
No,
And
no.
I've seen that and heard that. And, I've been in 39 countries in this world, and I've never been to Israel. I'm a firm Christian.
He's been to every country on planet Earth,
guys,
but
are
Israel.
you believers? We have no ties to Israel or Mossad or any other one. We're Americans, period. We believe in what we're afforded to do here. We believe in our system, and to say that we're Mossad or attached to any type of foreign entity, it's one of those. It's crap on its best day.
Let's be clear. 39 countries, I believe he said. He's in there doing work. Who's he working for? Your private contractor, right? For dignitaries overseas. You're training foreign militaries. Is all that under CIA or American control? And I'm not saying it's Mossad, but I'm just saying, you're telling me that you're all about America. You're telling me, but yet you're a hired gun. Don't you work for anyone who pays you money? Is there a line that you won't draw? I would say, have you ever been involved in having to kill someone for a foreign country that paid you money? Oh, certainly not. Yeah, I'm sure.
Do you have anybody on your team that you think could be tied to an extreme political party who is planning assassinations?
No. One, we're in each other's.
This is hard to get through. So see how he asks the questions. It's kind of like a dry run for a Senate hearing. Brian Harpole, Mr. Harpole, do you know anyone that was ever involved in or knew anybody involved? Absolutely not. I do not know that. I lost time. Mr. Harpole, do you know anybody that is in your employee that is? It's just the way it's delivered. If you've ever been in a deposition, man, it's like a friendly deposition without the asshole lawyer on the other side.
Business. Where they have the time for it, I wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, you had mentioned some of these guys are on the road 250 days a year.
Yeah,
with Charlie.
Yeah, just working, and it's not just that. It's, a lot of.
By the way, has anybody ever actually stopped an assassination attempt on Charlie? Because I looked it up and I couldn't find anywhere about it. Maybe there is. Maybe you can find it. Like, did these guys ever thwart an assassination attempt? He talks later about people trying to throw piss. Like, maybe he stopped people throwing piss. They roll around in their SUVs and they're all got their green berets, and they've got their jiu-jitsu masters and 57 years green beret, blah, blah, blah. And you fucking failed. You totally fucking shit the bed.
We do a team trip every year down to an undisclosed location, and some of the guys are there now. Some of the guys left yesterday after that job ended. I'll be going down the night before. Tomorrow. So we know what each other does. We know their kids' names and their spouses, and it's like, if they're doing it and they're not, they wouldn't have time for us not to notice. And then,
have you ever been involved in any black ops where it was top security that you all had to keep each other's back and keep the secrets that you are involved in? I lost time.
The heart of these men that they're going to pour this out. It's like, yeah, you took an oath. I've taken an oath. Most of my guys have taken an oath, and it's different in the security industry. You're not taking an oath for your client, but you are taking an oath to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wouldn't do that to the client, but they really wouldn't do it to me or to their coworker.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of those things. It's like, no, if you know us, those allegations become even more idiotic.
Yeah. And you say this with 100% certainty?
100%.
To my death.
Roger that.
To my death.
Let's move into the threat assessment and the pre-planning for the event.
Absolutely.
How many days prior were you guys there?
We generally, the permitting process and all that goes on behind the scenes. And then there's a questionnaires that are filled out that there was a lot of busy work. And then so, kind of like in the military, what you did, we create forms that, hey, let's get this information up front.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we have a duplication process so that we can confirm it. And so we started our first before that one.
And so much of this is just running out the clock. Like, oh, our guys, we go down. It's like talking about Charlie eating sushi in Japan and how he ate sushi off his plate. It's like there's so much fluff in here.
The 24th of the month prior. And so, and that was with the hard conversations, meetings.
You started that on the 24th?
Mm-hmm. Right. And we
That's
do
2 weeks.
at
early.
least. No, well, it started before that with the intelligence gathering and all that. But the hard conversations, the sharing of information, the conference calls, the data sheets, and we put that in a timeline.
I can't help it. Every time he moves his arms, he's like he can't, because he's in ops so often, he almost can't stop himself from doing these. Like, he's like, there was a sniper, and it's like, we took comms, and like, he just watch his hand movements. Very strange.
On an app, so that this all goes up, and every guy that's on that job can see all the intel that comes in. It's a decentralized command model for the company. And so anybody can make command decisions for the betterment.
Well, that seems to be working great for you.
Of the client or the team. And so everything goes on that app. And so when I get it, they get it. And when whoever's gathering that intel, it gets it. There's no hold. There's no power hold on it. And so that first information came in on the 24th, and then the information share starts where we're walking through, everything that you need for a detail, the site plan, point of contacts, emergency fallback locations, hard rooms, arrival points, hospital, you name it, fire department, jurisdictional.
I mean, you watch this video. I'm sorry, I just have to keep cutting in. I'll skip forward to something more interesting, but they go on and on. Like, they were planning, they had this place set up, every angle. He claims he had literally driven to the hospital back and forth. Like, they're just getting ready for, there's going to be an assassination supposedly every time Charlie goes out. That's how high their security is. Now, maybe that's true, but you think if it was that high, you may have said, hey, did you get that roof? Remember, the police department just said, got you, bro. And he's just like, cool. Like, didn't ever check into it. Didn't ever say, you got me. Because when he asks the question, he says, can we get on the roof? Or can you guys have someone on the roof? We'd like to have a guy on the roof. He's like, I got you, bro. He's like, all right, cool. That's that. That's the end of that loophole. We don't need to bother checking in on whether anybody actually is covering the roof. We don't actually need to fly a drone because it's illegal. I mean, sorry, it's not illegal, but only small drones that have fucking 4K cameras, 8K cameras. And then he's walking the entire area with teams of operators, and the whole time never noticed that there's a trapdoor access door there, and then lies point blank twice to the camera about it, about the drones, about the trapdoor. Why? Again?
Authorities, all that comes in on an intel sheet and gathered, and then it's in that quick reference app, so any guy can get it at any time they want to, and then we can share it out anytime. We can add people into it, take people out of it. And so we found also that we utilize that format, and it shows that it can timestamp our due diligence also.
No one cared.
And so that's why we use that as opposed to just
going forward. We're going to go to drones Overwatch.
Doing it on a Whippet pad. So
drones and Overwatch. This is where he lies with the drones.
Introducing the DentiMax Pro Sensor. Precision, durability.
If I could get some money out of you guys ever. Oh, by the way, could you share the stream? I keep meaning to ask people to share the stream. You know, we got 275 people in here. If everybody shares it, maybe we can get a few extra people. It makes it worthwhile for me to spend my time doing these things. If you are somewhat entertained by this stuff or informed, I would appreciate it. Go ahead and just go ahead, do me a favor and share it. The algorithm has me so jacked with 167,000 followers. Many of my posts get 0 engagement, and even over totally trending topics. You got to be on trending topics, and I do, and I'll get 0 comments. So it's funny that certain people that just share bullshit constantly have like millions of views, or people that lie for certain groups of people have millions of views, or people that just fall into whatever bullshit paradigm seems to be the new psyop. And it's not organic at all. Okay. So please give me a share and we'll get back in here. I've got to, like I was going to say, if I could ever make any money, I'd be able to pay for YouTube premium. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be really cool. I would love that when people do that. So
I believe in them, but I can't break the law to do it. We're out there not only protecting
this is where he
them
lies.
physically,
He can't.
but I have to protect the reputation of the client also. And then so table the drones, which would have been awesome. Absolutely. I believe in them, but I can't break the law to do it. We're out there not only protecting them physically, but I have to protect the reputation of the client also. And that's a whole separate thing of protection. So the drones would have been awesome, but I can't break the law. They could have used them. They chose not to. And you got Overwatch.
You hear him breathing right now? Woo!
You know, yeah, snipers on roofs. I got guys that are qualified. That's their career. But this is not a
he's definitely reading off something. Look at that. Definitely reading off something.
State Department job. I don't have an ITAR, and this is in Iraq. This is Utah. I can't go in and set up, you know, observation points with snipers. That's against the law. I can't break federal and state law to do what we need to accomplish.
You don't need a sniper on the roof. You just need a guy up there that sees the guy coming up, a guy with the binoculars, be like, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. Do you really need the sniper? Or could you be like, hey, bitch, get the fuck out of here? Or could you just have a handgun, considering you can actually have handguns legally on that campus? And then, like I said, if you look it up, you're legally allowed to fly drones on there, only small drones. I would have done it, but I just can't break the law. I can't do it.
So that's their job. Our job is the close protection bubble. And there's a saying on this, and there's areas of responsibility, and we cut up the areas of responsibility in this pre-meet, or, you know, when we start doing the advance. All right, we've got this, you've got this. And so, you know, they have that Overwatch capability, and they have an MOU for SWAT for that through Orem, not utilized. Don't know why. That's a question for them to ask. Why didn't you call? Well, why didn't you ask for assistance, especially when this crowd grew and grew and grew? I mean, good police tactics. If you're out and you have 6 guys that show up, and all of a sudden this thing goes from 1,500 to 2,000 to 3,000 people, you go, hey, we need some help. Swallow your pride, or whatever it is. We need some help. I took 12 guys there. I had double the amount of people there that the PD had.
By the way, I've been to these Charlie Kirk events. This thing was not out of control huge. It was about as big as a normal Charlie Kirk event.
And we're only responsible for the first 30 meters in movement in and advance in and receiving and out. And we had 12 guys. They gave me 6 for the rest of the campus.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so that's not the question for me to say, why didn't they? That's the question for them. And so there was that one, the site, man, it wasn't up to us. 2 drones.
Aren't you the head of security?
I can't break the law to do something I want to do. Otherwise, I'd have showed up with an APC.
Well, with the drones, I mean, you were in coordination with local police department, correct?
No, that the UVU has jurisdictional authority. It's their campus. Orem is the outside city. They weren't there because they hadn't asked. They hadn't been asked to come by, and we can't ask them to come. I can't call Orem PD and say, hey, man, send me 10 guys. I can't do that. I don't have the authority to do that or the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the city, I mean, the school PD has an MOU or mutual aid agreement with them. Why not just call them and say, hey, can you guys send us 10 guys over here for Overwatch, all that? And I say that only because
you just had a guy standing on the roof.
We had previously
on the realm,
talked about areas of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And then the areas of responsibility, and I had and our guys all have not only an area of responsibility, but there's a job in a job. So you have your area and you have a job for that area, but then you also know the guy's area and job next to you in case he goes down or something, you have to backfill him. And then we have the bubble around the protectee. And mathematically, 2,000 people are in front of you. Where's mathematically the threat coming from?
The front.
Right. And so we're looking for walk-ups, people walk up, setting down a package, walking away, displaying a firearm, everything from throwing balloons full of piss to muriatic acid. We've had all kind of stuff thrown on us over the years. And so there's a reason why those things are set up that way. And there's a reason why those guys that day were set up around there. Every guy has a job. Every guy has a detail. Every guy knows the guy's job next to him. And so we have that.
Is it anybody's job to stop
Charlie
Kirk getting shot in the neck?
Other people have areas of responsibility. Well, the Monday before the event, we were still working through the arrival. And so we have concerns with rooftops. We got a location that we're not keen with. We know what our responsibility is. We know what our statutory authority is. We know that we can't go up and set up our guys in sniper observer positions. It's not going to be allowed.
Set up our,
and so we have some correspondence with the chief of the school on that day, on Monday. It's not going to be allowed. And so we have some correspondence with the chief of the school. Tops. We got a location that we're not keen with. We know what our responsibility is. We know what our statutory authority is. We know that we can't go up and set up our guys in sniper observer positions. It's not going to be allowed. And so we have some correspondence with the chief of the school on that day, on Monday before Charlie was killed. And why this hadn't come out and why he won't stand up like a man and admit this, I don't know. But he's watching a bunch of men lose their careers.
Now he just blames the school security. Like school security is like been in Iraq, freaking been in 29 countries, working for the CIA, black ops, freaking jujitsu master, $1 trillion freaking security company. Green Berets. He's just a security guy from the freaking from a campus in Utah. It's not exactly like ground zero.
And he's okay with it.
There we go. We got another fucking commercial. There we go.
This correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back, and for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof? And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible. He comes back, and his last correspondence was, I got you covered.
Okay, this is his entire excuse. I got you covered. Let's watch it again. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in and I'm going to read this for you because this is bullshit. If anything, this is him covering his own ass ahead of time. This seems weird, as Candace would say. I'm not buying it. Like, hello, Chief. Hello, Chief Long. He had to like say Chief Long. Saying, is there a student access? There's a student access pretty close to where Charlie Kirk will be set up in the Utah Valley. At Utah Valley, Sorensen Student Center has a couple of stairs that go up and walkways on the roof. He's like, you want access to the roof? Question mark. He's like, I was told students have access to above us. Is this true? It would be nice either to have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there. Controlled by who? Or it would be really nice to allow my guys to be there. Would you like access to the roof? I got you. I got you. So this is a life and death situation. And you're like, wait. When you say you got me, do you mean you're flying drones or you're going to have cops there? Or are these good guys? Are they worthy or are they just like mall cops? Like we're talking about Utah Valley security here. Not exactly Green Beret level material. And so he says, I got you covered. And then he just says, thank you, sir. End of. So you think there's a possibility there could be a sniper on a roof. You text the guy. You say, I really like access to that roof. Maybe one of our guys can go up there. Yeah, I got you, bro. Got you covered. Well, you said you said you were going to have a Green Beret up there with a sniper. Like, what? How did you guys let this happen? And this guy has no balls to come out and admit that he said, I got you. I got you, bro. And then doesn't the next day, because they go back and forth with the comms. I made sure this was here, and I made sure that was there, and we made sure everything that everyone knows that everyone's on the same page, and we have this covered, and I have that covered as a team working together. No one said, did anybody check the rooftops? Did homeboy mean got you covered as we can get access to that, or got you covered as he's going to have freaking Sylvester Stallone Rambo up there with a fucking AK and a sniper rifle fucking making sure that nobody comes up there? Or you're just like, I'm pretty sure it's covered. I mean, the guy sent me a text saying, got you, bro. Give me a fucking break, dude. Take responsibility. Or why? And why are you lying? Because this is only going to make you look bad. I'm not even saying you're involved, but it's weird that you're lying. Why? Why would you lie about basic things? Just say, yeah, we thought we'd fly a drone, but we didn't think it was that big of a deal. It's illegal. I can't break the law. I would have an Apache gunship in there. That would have solved the problem, but I can't break the law. I can't break the law. I'm sure oh Jesus. This guy kills people in other countries. I assume. Can't break the law. You can't fly a drone. And then he admits later that his media team does fly drones, but they're small drones. I'm sorry to keep harping on that, but that's lie number 2. So they could have done it. Then he pretends like he said this area that has the possible sniper nest in it. Oh, I got you, bro. Hey, can I get access to that, bro? I got you covered. Well, I thought you meant you were going to have a guy up there. He never said that. What is he talking about? And then he shows this as evidence. This entire video reminds me of the text thread where it's like, I grabbed the gun. I went to the place. Thank you. We did this. Remember me inscribing the bullets? It's like, okay, so there's a new level of conspiracy theories. So they have him coming out to fill in all the bases in between this. And at the end, then he plays like he really cares and he's a conspiracy theorist too. And everyone's buying into it. Everyone's like, oh, he's one of us now. He's a conspiracy theorist. Right along with us. Nah, this is fucking bullshit.
Students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible. He comes back and his last correspondence was, I got you covered. What else am I to do? When a command level person from an accredited police department says, I've got this.
What else am I to do? How much are we paying you? A guy says, the guy could have been drunk. This was days before. Like, yeah, dude, no worries, bro. Hey, what else am I supposed to do? I mean, what? I'm only getting paid $100 million per minute to take care of security with my entire freaking SEAL Team 6.
Area. Jeez.
Wow.
Have you been in who is that?
That was the chief of police for the UVU police department. We've called him. He's never called us back.
Holy shit. Does he have a name?
Chief Long.
Chief Long.
And I didn't know if it said deputy in that or not, because in the correspondence or in his stuff on the website, it says Deputy Chief Long, but we just called him Chief Long. So it's like, yeah, I got guys that are 10 times more qualified than what he could have produced for us, probably.
So literally all they had to do is post anybody at that stairwell
roof,
put a drone up, or
let
you do your job,
or let us. You know, our team is built.
Would it be okay if we put that
Sure.
screenshot of that text
Absolutely.
up for everybody to see?
Absolutely.
So they know it's real?
Yeah, absolutely. And do a FOIA for his phone.
That's a good idea.
Do a FOIA. Do a FOIA for his phone and have those records put out so everybody can see them. Do a FOIA for the communications for days leading up to it. Do it. And the truth's like a lion. You set it free and it'll fight for itself.
One of my favorite sayings. Last question before we take a break.
Okay. This is another thing he keeps saying. He's like, why don't you go do a FOIA? It's like he's the one saying his entire $1 billion freaking contractor company is taking a hit. Nobody trusts them anymore for God knows what reason. He's saying they're saying that they're responsible for, or they have trap doors, which isn't true. They should have been flying drones, which isn't true. He should have been covering the roof, which isn't true. And then every time this comes up, it's like, why don't you go? You do a FOIA request. You do it. Get it. Go do it. It's like, dude, it's your fucking life on the line. And people out here in fucking La La Land are doing way more work than you. And you've got all this up fucking sec, all this knowledge. You don't have homies you don't have people that are private investigators. You don't have people in the business that can just make a fucking phone call and get this shit done. You've got resources, you've got money, you've got lawyers, and it's your fucking life on the line. Make the fucking call, get the FOIA request yourself. Meanwhile, the people actually did do a FOIA request, but it's not called a FOIA request because it's state. Whatever the name of it is, they said no because it could be national security and it could threaten people's lives if the information of why they covered over the fucking over the where the courtyard was next to the trap door, if that gets out, it'd be deadly for people. And so why is that? Why is it? And sorry, classified. It's classified information. Why they covered over that area? Because it could harm people. People's lives could be in danger if we find out why the classified information of why they covered over the fucking crime scene is. And that has already been done. And this motherfucker who's supposed to be some big fucking investigator, this guy looking into everything, his whole life's on the line. He doesn't even know this shit. He doesn't even know there's a fucking trapdoor access panel right there, right next to Charlie. He didn't even look at it from the standpoint. Like, apparently they practice running to the car. They practice running to the car with a dead body. They practice driving down the road to the hospital. He says this in this interview. I don't have time to play the whole thing. But he didn't like think, hey, and by the way, make sure you don't trip over the trap door that's right next to it while you're there. Just keep an eye on that, or cordon it off, or put a ramp over it. No. And just to clarify, I never said someone popped up out of the trapdoor. I never said Charlie Kirk was under the trapdoor. In fact, I don't know for a fact if it even is anything to do with the trapdoor. But I know for a fact he's lying, that he fucking knows there's one. And he fucking knows he could have put a fucking drone up. And he fucking knows he could have been on the roof. And 1, 2, 3 of all the most important things in this fucking interview, he's lying about in broad daylight.
I just want to ask, were you understaffed or I mean, was anybody sick? Did you have what you needed?
Yeah, we usually had
This
been
was the same as every other event.
No, we upped it. Yeah.
You upped it.
Yeah, we upped it. We usually would run 8 to 9, depending on how many movements and how much movement inside. And so based on no articulable threat, but just the current world situation prior to that day, we upped the manpower to 12. And then we had actually a 13 there that came in the drive party. And so, but yeah, we upped it based on nothing, because it's like, all right, that we're in a kind of a place where we don't want to be. We're expecting a big crowd. It's the first one. We don't want to get behind the 8 ball. In security industry, it's a prevention industry, not a response industry. It is a response industry, but it should be a prevention industry. So we're there in the prevention model. And so you can see, if you pull the schematic up, the placement I put for our guys. And on that day, thank goodness we had them, because where the tent was that Charlie was under, there's a giant walkway above him. And when we were doing the walk,
thank goodness you placed your guys where they were, or what could have happened? I mean, God forbid anything bad happened that day. I mean, your placement was just amazing, and your fucking command and control was amazing. Again, he keeps, what am I supposed to do? This guy's a commander. He's a commander, who turns out to be a deputy commander of a fucking college in Utah. Like I say, it's not exactly ground zero. You look at the population, it's mostly freaking white Mormon kids, not exactly your number one crime committer people. And this guy's like, oh, we did such a good job where we placed everybody. Yeah, we did a great job. The buck stops with you.
In that morning, one of the things that didn't come out in our advance was there was giant rocks that they use for architectural design all around there. And so we're seeing these rocks on the ground, and it's like, oh, people can come by and pick up these rocks.
Do me a favor. We got probably another half hour, 45 minutes of what time I've got to stream here. If you could please, anyone who's in here who hasn't shared already, please just give it a share. Just play it on your channel. If you like watching it, let some other people watch it. Make the show grow. Help the show grow. Then we as a crew, we can have more influence and more power. It gets me out here into my studio more often, because I know people care. Okay. And I know this show is very disjointed. I just couldn't really wait for it to come out. And I really think people need to look at this while it's hot. So I didn't really have time or a producer to produce this thing and have all the clips cut up. So I just had to say, fuck it, I'm doing it live. I had to get this out of my, craw, because I sat and watched the entire 2.5 to 45 minute show last night. And the entire time I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, every fucking word coming out of this guy's mouth. And keep in mind, he's like shaking, and he's like, this guy's like supposed to be like the biggest gnarly black ops dude under fire, deals with bloody bodies. He goes on to talk about how he's dealt with wounds and bloody bodies in Iraq and Iran and all these places all over the place. See people dying next to him, kids and blowing up and this whole thing. But all of a sudden he can't fucking, like, when he's like, what happened with the drone? Like, what was I supposed to do? I just can't. I mean, the commander of a high school, he told me to stand down. What do you want me to do? I'm just little old me. Not buying it, dude. Anyway, So what's our next clip here? Let's let him ramble on for a bit longer.
And then throw them down on us and throw them down on Charlie. And so we did a temporary criminal trespass zone right above him on that bridge walkway so that people couldn't come in it and throw rocks down on him. And so, but the problem is that we had to get PD units in here to take that area of responsibility. And we told them, hey, just like out there, we need you here to have oversight coverage because one, it's a tape line. It's not a hard, wall or anything. And so you need statutory authority under Utah law to say, hey, you can't come in or you can be arrested.
I mean, we could.
And so the PD came and did that.
Statutory law.
And then we had
a piece of tape.
Scott,
I mean, we
did a hellacious job on making sure they stayed there and did their job. And so, thank goodness we brought extra people.
Mm-hmm.
And so we upped our manpower.
Okay, let's go to shooter.
Due diligence was done.
Here we go. Shooter timeline.
We had.
I have a question for you. Which one is the real me?
Guys.
Is it me?
I can't.
All right, yeah, I'm the real Anthony. But it only took me 2.
So looking at hindsight here through the security footage, I mean, it came out that, the shooter went unnoticed at 11:50 a.m. in the grassy area, 12:02 p.m. near the Loose Center, and then at 12:23 p.m. when the shot was fired, approximately 142 yards away. What was, what was your immediate response?
I'll address the shooter in the timeline first. It's like, you know what I want to know? I want to know when he got on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're shooters. Where it's easy because we have a range and our guys do it as a sense of pride. Even though we know we work on all this other stuff more, the shooting we work on because it's a sense of pride. And then, so you look at things like that in that shooting position, 3 meters to the right and 10 meters to the left, there was no shot. And so I want to know when that guy got on the roof.
Let's put the visual of what that looks like on the screen right now.
We took that shot before.
Really?
We always do. We sit down in the space and we take the shot and send it back to Charlie so that he can see what he's going to see. Yeah, and that's a routine thing that we do.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's mental preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So here's a visual of what you guys
correct
were able to see.
Yep. And so here's my question, and hopefully it'll come out in timeline. All right. We've all seen the pictures of the guy when he came on through the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, there's a difference between a guy walking up and getting on a roof and a guy walking up and getting on a roof. And did he run over to a known position? What you're doing there tactically is you're working a loophole. You guys did that on a roof. You bang a hole through one side, and then you step back and you put another hole and you shoot through that hole when that opportunity comes through. Like, this is a big loophole. And so you tell me you just ran up onto a roof, pop yourself down in a position that was in a loophole.
Can you describe that loophole again real quick, just now that we have the visual up so people can see it?
You get up on this Sorensen Center. I mean, not Sorensen Center, Lucy Center. That's behind the Sorensen Center. And
he's calling this a loophole. If he was 3 feet to the right, or 10 feet to the left, there would be no way to take that shot. I mean, how could he do it? Or you could just kind of walk and be like, oh, hey, I got a shot. And there's this roof and that roof and the other roof and these roofs and those roofs and nobody's up on the roofs. I can't put sniper up there. I can't do it. I mean, it's not Fallujah. Meanwhile, he's sitting right here, looking right out. And there's a guy on that roof. He didn't see him walk across the roof. There's no one with eyes up there.
So from where we're sitting, where we're standing, we can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's not our area of responsibility, so that's why we're not looking there. First one, we're looking at threats right in front of us. You see, how many threats do you have in front of you right here?
About
3,000.
3,000.
Right. And so that's what we're looking at. And then it's kind of like you could be in front of a 18,000 foot mountain and there's a 36,000 foot mountain behind it. You're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be cognizant of that. And then if he would have stopped just a little bit to the right, he wouldn't have been able to see it because the source
Iran, all this. You don't just kind of just go ahead and scan the rooftop a little bit there. I'm looking for piss jugs. I'm not looking for snipers on the roof that I thought might have been a sniper location that I told them to watch the sniper location.
Would have been in the way.
I mean, it's a very specific point.
Spot.
It's not just, which is what I thought. I thought it was just climb on the roof and you've got the vantage point.
So you're telling me there's
like
enough blind ass luck that you ran up there, didn't crawl, you didn't get up. He didn't get up there like the secondary guy that tried to shoot Trump, where he was bugged down in the weeds for a while. This was a boom on, boom run to, boom take the shot, and it's like, did you get all that off Google?
I mean, it had to have been rehearsed to find that. Which I believe you said is basically did you say 7 foot vantage point basically had?
Oh, I'd have to.
It's small. Whatever. It's small.
Not big.
There's the visual. Who gives a fuck? It's a small area.
It's not something. And then
you would have to search for that. You would have to search for that vantage point if you didn't know. So it would be great to see the footage. Maybe it's out there of him running straight to the point, or did he search around looking
exactly
for
what
it?
I want to know. Do we have?
It'd be great if that chief of police would have put that fucking drone up.
We'd have had it, or I'd have flown that drone up his ass if we could have had one. So those are questions.
Here he goes again. He just can't stop lying. I would have flown that drone up his ass if we had one. And then I'm pretty sure here in a few seconds, he bumbles and points out, it's like, yeah, I mean, we saw the location when we flew up the drone with the camera crew. I mean, that was a small drone, though. The size of the drone has nothing to do with the size of the camera, genius.
I have. Those are tactical questions. I mean, we make our guys do that kind of stuff all the time.
Here he goes again. Those are tactical questions. He can't stop doing the hand signals. He's trained to do this.
Yep. Nope. You're going to run 300 yards. You're going to jump over this wall. You're going to come home and you're going to take this shot with ours is about a 35-foot declination at 200 yards. And you see guys that are even trained, miff it every once in a while. And people are like, oh, that's an easy whip at 142. And I'm like, yeah, the shot itself, but you're talking about old men that shoot stuff on sandbags. You and I both know under duress, accurate shots are different.
It's not 142 yards is not a difficult shot with a magnifying
not at all
optic. It becomes more difficult when you're winded, when you're climbing, when you're running, when you are nervous,
visual noise all in front of you.
When you're wondering if anybody else is seeing you. I mean, there's a lot of induced stress. And, and I just want to, I mean, we're looking at this thing right now, this first person view of what it looked like from under the tent. And I mean, I don't know how long he was in that gap for, but it didn't sound like it was very long. And you have 3,000 other threats that you're looking at, the rooftop supposedly being covered by the police. Maybe it would have been a good idea to confirm that the police had the drones up. But I mean, you are talking to the chief of police. You would think that he would have the fucking drones up.
We knew there were no drones, but then somebody earlier that day flew a drone up.
Correct.
Yeah.
So actually, you probably wouldn't have confirmed because there are drones up.
We didn't know where it came from, and we're like, "What's the deal with this?" Now, it's not uncommon for the video team to throw a drone up and then take a quick shot. And we've had that before. Now, their drones are different because they use those little bitty ones. And so they're not covered under the requirements. And so it's like, again, yeah, you're right. do I need to call a grown ass man and say, hey, are you doing your job?
Yeah. Maybe you should do your fucking job, bitch.
You shouldn't.
And this is, it's.
And Shawn Ryan, again, he's totally covering for this guy because they're both little black ops buddies. And hopefully I don't get my throat slit or fucking slip on a banana peel for pissing off these guys. I know they go around and do jobs all the time. When are they protecting people, or are they in other countries assassinating people and murdering people? I don't know. I have a feeling every once in a while that's what the job is. Okay? But I don't give a fuck. This guy is lying. This guy can't even keep his own fucking story straight. There wasn't a drone. There is a drone, but they're little bitty drones. A little bitty drone. Little bitty drone would have seen the fucking roof just fine. Lots of people have little bitty drones. You don't need a fucking gunship.
Especially a man in that position.
And it's like, hey, man, I'm not a fan, but Bill Belichick won for a reason. He told his people, hey, do your job. And hey, if you don't want to do your job, that's fine. Do the job you said you were going to do. How about that one? So that's kind of where our guys are set up on there. And then I was to Charlie's right.
There's a lot of chatter on the internet about hand and arm signals, from the security team. There's been concerns about it from my own personnel that work here. I've worked security details, done a lot of sniper work.
Did you ever use hand and arm signals?
I used hand and arm signals every single time on every detail, everywhere I went. And, one of the rumors was, he's got the ball cap. He did the ball cap wiggle. That's the Marine Corps sniper. I've done a lot of sniper operations. Nobody wears ball caps.
So that was my lead question. You ever use hand signals? And it's like, yes.
Yes.
Were your hands?
And you would already establish. I'm going to cover for you here because this is a rumor that I just fucking hate.
Here we go again. I've been on a lot of sniper. No people wear ball caps. No lookers, no military. So, okay, now's a good time. No one ever. And then they go on to say, I use arm signals and hand signals all the time. And he's like, we weren't using arm signals and hand signals. I might use a signal like come here or go there or stop or go down or come up, but just regular hand signals. Those are only kind of hand signals I use. I thought you said you weren't using hand signals. What are you talking about? And then Mr. Buddy Boy, Shawn Ryan, his fellow brother in arms, apparently they have the same tattoo. They're like, yeah, I got the tattoo at some point. We'll see if it's in there. You see it when you watch it. It's like, let me stop you. Let me stop you because you're flailing this interview, bro. You're looking guilty. Let me just cover for you. Cover for you. Is that what an interviewer is supposed to do? Cover for someone?
Because that is what it takes. You can't be on the radio all the time because you're tying the net up. We had already established that you had other security professionals within the crowd that you're trying to communicate with, and that's how you do it. That is how you do it.
Well, I'll speak to this one. You're using hand signals, or if you were to use hand signals, and those are an option, especially like under MVG or things like that. One, are those hand signals normal ones that you would see during normal gesticulation? Are those definitive hand signals?
Mm-hmm.
They're definitive so that they can't be confused with a guy scratching his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first one. The second one is that hand signal. When a bubble team is there, we're not using hand signals. Sniper details, absolutely. Why? Because you can see that. Are we looking around at each other looking for hand signals? Mm. We're looking at in the front in our area of responsibility. If we needed to relay a message,
no, you're giving the hand signals
right here on comms. We're notorious for, if I need to get somebody's attention on the team, I'm not going to sit there and use a hand signal if he's in my line of sight. I'm just going to go like that. He's going to look up and I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I looked up and did a hand signal on the team and did that or that, he's going to look at me like, So what do you want me to do then?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for that, that's not good communication. It has to be definitive. It has to be necessary.
Oh, that's it. Case closed. So you couldn't just say, hey, we're not going to use standard hand signals. I'm going to turn my hat like this, and that's your cue. And I'm an operator. I'm a genius. I'm in this world. So I'm not going to turn my hat until it's time. Okay. Or I will turn my hat. That's lock. And then that's load. And that's go. Or whatever it is. You could make it up, say, I'm going to scratch my ass. And that's your sign. You can't communicate ahead of a hand signal. You only can use government issue hand signals. Again, this is weird and deceptive. And he says, we're not using hand signals. I only use regular hand signals. And I wouldn't use any weird hand signals that nobody would know. That would be impossible.
It could be an acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yep. Receipt.
Get me out of here.
Yep. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. And what you're doing there is deliberate. Yeah, these are deliberate.
You know?
Yeah. So no, we don't use hand signals on that one. We didn't use hand signals that day. We've never used hand signals other than the general ones. Here, 2 people. Here. You know, none of that was done. None of that was done. You had Frank Turek and people messing with him because he adjusted his hat. It's like, okay.
Never use hand signals. Ever. And they just said they always use hand signals on every job, but not on this job, but only regular hand signals. And there could be no unusual hand signal that might just tell ahead as a code. This is weird, guys. What is this guy's deal? And then he even does this. He's like, yeah, I mean, we definitely don't do that. What?
Substantiate. All right. So he touched his hat. There were a line of people in the front and all the other people that also did all kind of things before that. It's like everybody's subject to that. I get it. Man, I'm a huge, and I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but I do believe that there are things out there bigger than you and I that are in operations.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. I also am a huge believer in the First Amendment. And so these people that are out there saying all this, back up. Why is the First Amendment so important? Because back in the day when our founding fathers said, man, why do we need this amendment first? And because a voice is an arms for people that don't have arms. That's what it was for. It was a collective or a single voice could be powerful to a hierarchy of people.
I really do apologize. It's so hard to watch this video. Try and go watch it yourself. Make your own things. So here he said, the First Amendment so important. And then he goes on to say, but the First Amendment was only supposed to be used as a shield. It was never supposed to be used as a weapon. And now people are using it as a weapon, and it's wrong. I believe in the First Amendment. And then later on he goes, but people shouldn't be allowed to question, Erica Kirk, which I think is totally not cool. But I was at the memorial, and I mean, it touched me. I was crying. So it was like, that's just something I'm not willing to go into. But should people be allowed to ask it? Fuck yeah. Everyone should be suspect, until we find the actual, beyond a reasonable doubt, fact. And the fact that they're covering up and hiding. And even though he's trying to come out to clear the air, he's constantly fucking obfuscating and hiding at every moment. We didn't use hand signals, only regular hand signals. Right? He just can't stop himself fucking doing hand signals the entire time. There is no drone. There was no drone. I mean, we did put a drone up, but it was a bitty drone. There was no rooftop. We knew there was a rooftop. We told the guy, he said, cool, bro. And what am I supposed to do? This guy's an emperor commander of a college. It's just, guys, wow.
It can't be conquered with an arm. So we have to have this voice, and we have to protect this voice at all costs.
But we can't.
And they said, and they wanted us to have that. And that's why they put it first.
They never said it's
only, and it should be used as a shield. Well, nowadays with the media and now social media, that right has been used as a sword. in the sword of public opinion. It's like, hey, well, let's just put a bunch of lies out there and claim First Amendment, and we can say whatever we want. And it's like, when's that stop?
When's that stop?
And literally whatever you want. You've seen some of the idiocy out there. Palm gun, exploding microphone, hand signals. It's like, it doesn't even have to be true, and it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just using that First Amendment as a sword.
So why are they allowed to come out and say the guy got on top of the roof? You don't know if that's true. You even yourself said you don't think it's true. So should the media be allowed to even say this stuff? Should you even be allowed to say he was on the roof? Should anybody be allowed to say anything until it's proven true? And how are we supposed to get to the point of realizing what is true if we don't get to throw our ideas out and have this debate? Because we're being lied to at every fucking point, and every single piece of evidence is being covered up, or it's national security, or it's freaking classified. How can it be classified information as to why they covered over the crime scene? Because it might endanger people's lives. What? Anyway, look, I'm going to get off here in a minute. If you guys want to share it one more time, even when we're done, you can still share it, because it still gets the numbers up, and that's good for me, because I want to get some better guests on too. I've got some good guests lined up. I got Found Ring coming up. I got We Are Change coming up, and I'm trying to keep this thing rolling. The bigger numbers I get, the bigger guests I can get. So I could probably get some bigger guests, but I'm not going to bring them on and we go like, oh, we got 300 viewers. Thanks, bros. So let's go to conspiracy theories and unanswered questions. This is where he there's a part, no offense, in the middle where he talks about the what happened with Charlie, and he breaks down, and it could be real. But then they stop the whole show, and he's like walking around the Ryan's bar there, like, oh God, I can't take it. And then they go right to a gold commercial. Like, wow. Like, oh, everybody's heartstrings are going, gold commercial, break. And so anyway, there's debunking explosion theories. I mean, we could look at that. Debunking explosion theories. Let's have a quick look at that. Let's go. Okay. Now, you know what? We're supposed to be in shooter timeline. Let's go into aftermath hospital injuries. Okay. There we go. See if I can let the guy talk for 5 fucking seconds.
The reason we
ad. If somebody wants to sponsor me for my YouTube premium account.
And then I don't know when I put the first piece of medical on him. It was sometime after that. Because I carry it right here. And so I jumped down on top of Charlie to cover him, because where we're at, it's concealment at best. It's a tabling with cloth on it, so it's not hardcover. Our guys are starting piling back in, and they're down, putting a human shield around him, but it's still just concealment. It's not cover. And so I initially dove down on top of him and just was on him almost face to face. And then when I was doing that, I went down, I could see the wound. And so I immediately shoved my hand into the wound to stop the bleeding, just trying to find the pressure. And it was coming out still. And I'm on top of him, like close. And it was still coming out enough that it squirted through my fingers, and I could taste it on my lips. And so I was like, man, this is a bad wound. Right. And so I was just pushing that. And I don't know at that time. I know when you look at the clock, I was on him within 5 seconds and had my hands in him. And then I don't know when I put the first piece of medical on him. It was sometime after that. Because I carry it right here. And that's why you carry it on you. You got to have it there. So, but then I remember pulling back away and thinking, damn, this is bad. Like it's coming out. And I don't remember saying this, but the guys told me, and you can kind of see it on the video. I said, prep the car. And I just prepped, and you see the two guys just take off. And That car's prepped in position, but what I mean, doors are open.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole deal. And so we're doing pressure control there, and it's a carotid artery, so you can't put a tourniquet on it, obviously. And in my head, I'm like, pack, pressure, pray, man. These are what you can do for that wound. But then, so I'm on top, and then I told the guys, we got to exfil. We're all out here in the open. We're trying to give wound care, and we got to get off this X, right? And so, but I just said, we're exfilling. And so we got up, I think it was like 15, 16 seconds from the time the shot happened to the time we were picking him up and headed.
15 to 16 seconds.
That's what it was. Yeah. And so
that's fast.
Yeah. And this is horrible, but
it's fast to get an initial assessment, plug a hole, pick them up, move them.
Yeah. And so it's just like, dang. And it's some horrible realities of it too, that like I told the guys this, and I haven't. When I jumped down on him, he had doll's eyes. And so I was like, man, these are wounds incompatible with life.
Yeah. You want to take a break? Let's take a break. You want a minute?
Good.
You've probably seen the headlines. Another trillion added to the national debt. It's hard to even grasp the scale of it. 38 trillion in climbing. While Washington keeps kicking the can down the road, more and more everyday Americans are losing confidence in the system. That's why we're seeing record demand for gold and silver right now. It's not just everyday Americans either. Central banks across the globe are buying gold at the fast.
This is their commercial. This is not a YouTube commercial. This is their gold commercial, right as they pull on the heartstrings, go to a break. By the way, the entire interview takes a turn after this. I have a feeling the guy's attorney gave him like a sign, like, hey, if things get iffy, pull this scenario, and then if you've ever been in a deposition or whatever, you say, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, and then your lawyer's like, dude, you're flailing. Get back in there. You got to do this. What are you doing with the hand signals? Talk about, how much you love Charlie. Get back into the, how the pain you're feeling, and start pulling the heartstrings. Like, get off all this military talk and stuff like this. So the whole interview changes when he comes back. But in between, right when they get to that point at the break, they sell you some gold. So that's nice. We'll get to the end of that break. Where is he? Oh, here's more ads. He's back.
Here's how we use Riverside to produce our podcast from start to finish. First, look up Riverside, then create a free account.
Phrase that you use and for reporting later. And
I mean, I hate to get graphic, but that's that's how you do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember.
By the way, he goes on to say that after he's packing gauze in Charlie's neck, how many ever feet he says later, 100 foot of gauze, he then gets all the way to the hospital, and he cuts the shirt open. They get him in the room, and they have a heartbeat. Like, and then he asks, how long after was that? Like, you don't have any idea how long it is between where you were and you got to the car, when you got to the hospital. Meanwhile, he claims at some point in this interview that they literally drove the route from the university to the hospital just in case they needed to get Charlie out and bring his bleeding body to the hospital. I guess they do this all the time. I don't know, but he did it sober, not freaking out at some point. He knows the OPSEC, so he knows about how far it is to the hospital. So you could kind of add, like, it was about a minute before we got in the car. We were in the car for 15 minutes. We walked in the thing 5 minutes. I mean, more than 10 minutes, more than 15 minutes, more than 20 minutes after he was sitting there bleeding out. He still has a heartbeat because Charlie's heart was so strong, and his neck bones too.
Yeah.
The eye thump.
Yep. And
If
so
there's no movement after you thump the eye, that is,
good.
it's
And
done.
So, same. And so
over.
at the time, I mean, I broke down just then, but I think, and some of my close friends had told me I didn't weep a tear after that for like 3 weeks. Not, it's like, hey man. And I was like, yeah, there's a time for that. These guys, the guys I'm with, we've seen a lot of
Bad
effects of violence, messed up kids, guys that stick things into kids and just horrible people, right? And you compartmentalize that junk, right? So that you can, you got a job to do. And then sometimes those things, when you open that box, they come out, right? And that was one of them. So, I'm sure it's good for me at some point. But so we get back to that, and so I'm down on him, and I don't know if when it sprayed me in the face, it caused me to flinch back or what. But then sometime around then, I said, hey, prep the car, and you see two of the guys just take off towards the car, and then Gibby and Rick and Dan and I said, hey, that's exfil now. And so we get up, and the timeline on that's like 15, 16 seconds, something like that, where you can see we're prepping. But the problem is direct pressure, right? So when you're in a medical deal, and you've been I've had these before on major accidents and GSWs, when you show up on calls, you can't give direct pressure and move, right? In exfil, and you have to have counters, like giving CPR. You can't give people CPR.
So he's saying
like
that
you have to
you
have
got to
something.
put pressure on people. So he made the decision to move him, which, honestly, if I was there, I probably would have done the same thing. I'm not going to sit there and wait around for someone when someone's bleeding out to that level, especially if you've already ran to the hospital just in case Charlie gets shot. But let's see what's our next thing here. Aftermath hospital. Okay, we'll get into. He starts talking about the bone and the neck.
So we take off in direct action. We get out onto the main road, and we're in a slick SUV, no light sirens, and so we're breaking our own intersections. We're cutting our own traffic. We're doing everything ourselves. Justin's driving. I mean, he's trained driver. I mean,
anyway, they're driving in the car. Charlie's bleeding out. He's putting gauze in him.
And so you don't fall out of the fucking car.
So I don't fall out. And I just look at him, and I don't need to say, you got me. He's got me. I know he's got me. Rick's a brother. He's got the tattoo. And so I was like, he's got me.
See this? He's a brother. He's got the tattoo. I wonder if Shawn Ryan has the tattoo, whatever the tattoo is. So he's a brother. So anyway, don't kill me, fuckers. This is bullshit. No one's buying it. And this isn't helping either. You would have been better off just keeping quiet. Anything you say will be used against you. I mean, don't you guys know that? Like, why are you giving all this information out?
And so I'm just working medical, and Frank's praying out loud. Rick's praying out loud.
But does he have a pulse at this point?
So,
and there's no way.
In a situation like that, I'm not going to stop and take pulse.
I didn't know if somebody else had one or
no. And so I have SpO2 monitor there. I've got all the stuff.
That's another thing. So you're pushing on someone's neck, like you can feel your own pulse in your neck. Like put your hand right here. That's where you check a pulse. That's exactly where Charlie got hit. This is supposedly his arteries. So you're putting your hand on there. You can't just feel the pulse like right away. And you're like a trained medic who's been seeing people blow up left and right all the time. And then later on, he's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. It's like this guy's full on medic, dude, who's been in full on war, putting people's bloody bodies back together. This is like not his first rodeo. And I'm not checking for a pulse. Really? Because somebody keeled over and conked out and died in front of me. And I checked for the pulse while I was giving him CPR for over an hour until the people got there. In his blood, in his vomiting mouth. But I still kept my head about me and was able to do that. And I'm not a pro. This is the first time I ever did it.
For it, I could have put it on, but it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's irrelevant to treating that wound, right? And so I've got to stop that bleeding. That's my primary thing. And so whether
is it really irrelevant though? Because if you know his heart stopped, wouldn't one person be pushing gauze and the other person be giving compressions? Isn't that what you'd be doing if you're going to be in a ride to the hospital? If you're like, oh wait, his heart's going, you're like, okay, keep putting the gauze in. But if you're like, his heart stopped, aren't you going to be giving compressions at that time? If their heart's going, you're not going to give compressions, right? Or am I wrong? I mean, I'm not a medic in Fallujah.
where he had a pulse, then it's unknown. The body's an amazing thing that can do things even when it's technically, destroyed. And so my concern is bleed control. And so I'm just Rick's got me, Justin's driving, World's coming by. I'm working, I end up putting about 36 feet
36
of dressing in him, and then 4 4x4s, and then 2 hemostatic 4x4s.
Sheesh.
And then just pressuring the whole time. So you're adding just pressure as much as you can get, adding pressure. And so we are heading to the hospital. It's a known. We're heading there, breaking intersections. We picked up a tail from PD somewhere along the way. And I know some audio came out about that. And I think they thought it was a secondary person that had been shot. But we didn't know it was an active shooter. Everybody that says, oh, you should have treated him there and not moved him, stopped the bleeding. I'm like, well, yeah, I know. Same way. I was like, man, no, that's not, medicine doesn't happen on the X. Nothing happens. Somebody shoots at you, you get off the X, right? And so.
Why did nobody return fire? Why did nobody stand up with a gun and attempt to cover everybody that was in and out of that place? All these military commanders. You can't hear where the gun came from. You didn't stand up and look around, at least to put them on the defensive.
And we didn't have cover.
Just for anybody that's listening, that is rule number 1, law enforcement, military, any security, anything, get off the X.
Yeah. And
more rounds are coming in.
Yeah. And so
none of them
we get to the hospital. Actually, we make it to the hospital through the traffic. We've got full wound pack in. We get out and we carry in to the door. Once we make it into the door, we see a gurney on the left-hand side. We put him on a gurney, and then I wheel him into a room. I start giving the patient information to the staff there. I end up getting on top of him and cutting the shirt that he had on off, that white Freedom shirt. And so I cut it off so they could get to him, so that I didn't articulate this to them, but I wanted to get that stuff off so they could put a defibrillator on him. And so, and then started talking about pushing drugs. And so I was back and forth with them on drugs and defibrillator. And so then, once you get that shirt cut off and moved out of the way, there's enough of medical professionals in there. And so I just want to get out of their way. And so I got out of their way and walked out of the room and stood outside the room and held guard on the outside door of the room so nobody else could come in there.
Covered in Charlie's blood.
Yeah, I had it all over my face. And, Rick and I had it all over our arms. And our from about here down was just covered. And yeah.
Whoa, man, amazing car. When did you become a millionaire?
I feel bad for the hospital staff because we showed up looking like that, and they didn't know we were coming, even though we had called 911. But I don't know what. And so I told Justin, I said, check on the men and call your kids, because I was worried about them. Because when we left, and call, but Conan's job. And I mean, I can still remember numbers from when I was in high school with my friends, but I just don't remember numbers nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't call them. And so they're at home just suffering because I can't read me in. We have other victims. What's going on? And they got retasked. That same chief of police came out and said, hey, y'all hold this crime scene and help us look for other clues.
And none of the people that were there that didn't jump in the car went to try and find this shooter or where he was or track into the woods or anything. And just remember, no one solved this crime. Not that these guys are supposed to solve it. The FBI didn't solve it. None of them. They supposedly just turned themselves in. Like, we caught him. You didn't catch him. No, that's not about this guy. So anyways, this could be true. Some of this stuff's probably real. I'm sure his interactions with a bloody body in the car were not fun, regardless of who's to blame. And if he's just negligent, it's probably pretty painful. So I'm not claiming. I know they're lying about certain shit. That's a fact. And I don't have time for all of this. And no offense, it's a 2 hour 48-minute episode. So I'm going to cruise forward. There's stuff about the neck. There's this and that. I'm going to get to the conspiracy stuff because I'm just running out of time here. So I do apologize. You can go check out the whole thing. They talk about media distrust and they're like, yeah, we got to start telling the truth. America's not going to believe us. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk. Tell the truth about JFK. Blah, 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 which I do agree with. Media mistrust, conspiracy theories. Okay, let's get to this one here.
Why do you think that they tore up and paved over the crime scene so quickly?
I have had and asked that at least 10 times. And I said, I don't understand the exigency of why they did that. And here's my question to that. March your ass up to the school. Have you marched your ass up to the school, or will you march your ass up to that school tomorrow and file a FOIA and say, hey, you're a public institution. I want the request and the plans that were made to tear that up and when those requests and plans happen. Because you're not going to request that, or you shouldn't request that overnight and have that done. That had to probably go through a budget request, had to be approved. There should be a timeline and paperwork for that. Mm-hmm. You should be able to get that through FOIA. And so do it. Make them tell us why that they tore that up before it was even cold. I want to know.
Why don't you do it? You're the one on the X, so to speak. You're the one who's being called into question. You're the one whose company is going broke because nobody trusts you anymore, regardless of whether you're guilty of plotting it, which I'm sure you've never plotted the killing of anybody in any country with any overthrow of anything with any black ops, and neither has Shawn Ryan, who constantly talk about how many people they've had to shoot and how many bloody people they deal with constantly, and all the hand signals and the snipers and everything. I'm sure everything's just another day at Disneyland. Why don't you get to the bottom of it to clear your name instead of coming out here and telling us all this bullshit? Like I said, people have actually filed it. They went and they got denied because it is considered classified information that could harm the lives of an individual if released. But you don't know that because you're this amazing Black Ops genius who's trying to clear his name.
Because it came back on us. that we had some trap door and you're covering up the trap door and we had a guy hiding in there?
Okay, that's actually my next question. I didn't hear about there was somebody hiding in the trap door.
A gun was hiding or something.
Heard there was a trap door or
Right.
something. Was
What you heard about a trap door, Shawn? But what did you think the trap door conspiracy theory was? That there was just a trap door, that nothing happened, that there was nobody under, nobody was in, there was no gun, there was nothing there. And then they just go on to completely gaslight everybody and tell everybody. And he's like, what are they talking about? It's like, is there a trap? No, absolutely not.
there a trap door in a tunnel system?
No,
There was not.
no. So, school, why'd you tell? So,
This is so weird. Once he's finished saying no, he goes, so it's like, that's the one thing he wanted to get out there. So school, back to this amazing command structure of a school in Utah. Like, why doesn't the command structure of the school get to the bottom of this? Why don't you use your connections, bro?
school, why'd you tear it up? Why did you tear it up? What was the exigency to tear up something that still people? So, had to be approved. There should be a timeline and paperwork for that.
Mhm.
You should be able to get that through FOIA. And so do it. Make them tell us why that they tore that up before it was even cold. I want to know. Because it came back on us. That we had some trap door and you're covering up the trap door and we had a guy hiding in there.
Okay, that's actually my next question. I didn't hear about there was somebody hiding in the trap door.
A gun was hiding or something.
Heard there was a trap door or
Right.
something. Was there a trap door in a tunnel system?
No,
There was not.
no. So, school, why'd you tear it up? Why did you tear it up? What was the exigency to tear up something that still people
Exigency. I think he's trying to say
would?
exigency.
Did you not think that through? Like, hey, this might.
I just can't get past this part, man. Why don't you just say, look, there's an access hatch there. A lot of people thought it was a fucking trap door, but we checked it out because we care, because this is coming back on us that people think it's down there. You didn't think to just get one of your buddies to go over there and take some video of what's underneath there? Or just say, yeah, there's a thing there, but it's like totally not a trap door. It only goes under 4 feet and there's not a big enough room. And yeah, we checked it. We had it dusted for prints. We checked it for DNA to make sure there was nobody there or nothing there. Because you yourself are saying that you don't think that a person could have got up and shot from that angle. You yourself think it's weird that they shot him and it didn't come out the back. You yourself think that they're lying to us. You yourself have questions, but you have no integrity to get to the bottom of it. You've got infinite money. You've got infinite operatives. You couldn't have one of your employees go out there and just be like, hey, dude, can we get the information under here so we can just leak it? Leak it to me. Leak the information of what's underneath that thing. It could be nothing. But why do people keep hiding it and covering it up if it's nothing?
We might want to put a hold on that. This might induce questions to us.
Mhm.
And it didn't.
There was somebody hiding in the trap
A
door.
gun
but
was hiding or
Heard
something.
there was a trap door or
Right.
something. Was there a trap door in a tunnel system?
No,
There was not.
no. So, school, why'd you tear it up? Why did you tear it up? What was the exigency to tear up something that still people would? Did you not think that through? Like, hey, we might want to put a hold on that. This might induce questions to us.
Mhm.
And it didn't. Nobody went back and asked questions to the school or said, hey, well, let's do a FOIA and do some back digging on that. That's not protected under this evidentiary gag order.
Mhm.
Now let's just blame the security team because that's the easy way. Go do the FOIA.
You know, I mean, back to the exit wound thing. You know, I mean, because we're talking about the tearing up of the crime scene and everybody's wanting them to find the bullet. I mean, if the bullet hit any bone at all, there is no bullet. It's just fragmentation.
Great point.
And
that was discussed already.
if there was no exit wound in the autopsy though. there should be, I mean, if there was no exit wound, then there should be fragmentation of the bullet would have fragmented into who knows how many pieces.
The doctor, and again, this is not a non-disclosure violation, but the doctor came out there and told us. And then they also told chief of staff. So the bullet came in and hit the vertebra. So it came in and then tore up everything in the wound cavity, hit the vertebra, crushed it, shattered it, turned, crushed the second one, turned, kept going down all the way. I think they said C6.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like, why not put that info out? Why not put it out? And then
why wouldn't they put that out?
And if it do me a favor, don't make me do it. It's not my job. And so then it got to here, and you're exactly right. And then hit, I think, 6 and then fragged.
Is anything this guy's job except for collecting a fucking paycheck? It's not my job to be on the roof. It's not my job to have a drone. It's not my job to check to see if they're there. It's not my job to get to the bottom of whether there's a trap door that there isn't for sure a trap door. It's not my job. It's not my job to get to the bottom of this. People are making us think saying we're guilty and we're trying to clear our name. It's not my job to clear my name. It's your job.
And so explanation 101. What are you hiding? Yeah. It's like I'm sitting back here when people are saying we bombed him or there's a wound. I'm like, hey, somebody would from an official capacity would just release that. And I don't see how that could jeopardize a fair trial for a guy. And or somebody called the doctor. Somebody just call him.
But nobody will. And it ain't going to be me, even though you were there. Like, hey, buddy, remember when I was there helping it out? You know, me and you, we were buddies. We were helping Charlie. We got all these people trying to say that I was involved. Like, could you do me a favor? Can we do a phone call? Or will you call Shawn Ryan and just get on the phone with him? We can record the call. Why doesn't somebody out there do something? It's not my job. Nothing's this guy's fucking job. I was going to say something. This guy's so annoying.
People are saying we bombed him or there's a wound. I'm like, hey, somebody would from an official capacity would just release that. And I don't see how that could jeopardize a fair trial for a guy.
By the way, how is it that if we release information about him being guilty, it's going to jeopardize a fair trial? Meanwhile, everyone in the world can put out conspiracy theories saying that he's not guilty or they think it's someone else. Meanwhile, everyone on the news and all the mainstream media said he's the shooter. This is the guy. We found him. He's got a tranny boyfriend. This is him. This is where he is. This is his parents. This is who sent him in. This is him on the roof. This is him in the stairwell. But that's not affecting the jury somehow. What? If we're putting all this information out, why not put actually some true information out? You know what I think? When everybody says they're going to why don't we have a shot of him lying down on the roof? I have a feeling that when the trial fully comes out, they will actually have that shot, whether it's CGI or it's real, or it's whoever the actual shooter is, or maybe it's the patsy. Maybe he really is the shooter, right? But they'll say, see, case closed. Here's the picture of a dude on the roof. Keep in mind, you can't identify dude on the roof. Keep in mind, you can't identify the gun on the roof. Keep in mind, you can't see him get off the roof with the gun. Keep in mind, you don't see how he gets on the roof. But they're going to show you that one shot, like, oh, see, here he was. And they're going to go, oh, there it is. We finally got the piece of information, not knowing who's on the roof, where the gun is, how he got up there, how he got away, how he transposed into someone in the forest with a gun that was in his pants that wasn't in his pants. They'll just show you a little piece of clip and then everyone's like, oh, see, there's the evidence you wanted. That's my prediction. They're going to show you some little piece of shit evidence that they've been hiding on you so they can go, see, we've unveiled the magic trick.
And or somebody called the doctor. Somebody just call him.
This guy, George Zen, Are you familiar with this guy?
Is he the one that said
He is the performance immediately after the shooting? I believe he was saying that he had the shooter. He's also a witness to 9/11, called to the bomb threat in Salt Lake.
So yeah, see how he goes like this. He tries to pretend to be an investigator, so he's setting him up ready for when he gets a deposition. George Zinn, are you familiar with George Zinn? Why does he ask him like a prosecutor? Pretends to like put him on the spot, when in reality he's super friendly. Let me cover for you. Let me get that. And by the way, we don't use hand signals. We do use hand signals.
City.
George Zinn.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
This guy, George Zinn. Are you familiar with this guy?
Is he the one that said
he is the performance immediately after the shooting? I believe he was saying that he had the shooter. He's also a witness to 9/11, called to the bomb threat in Salt Lake City marathon. I mean, he seems to show up at a lot of historic
incidents, right? And then gets arrested, and then later gets arrested for child porn after that. And so that was a weird deal, because that came to us at the hospital. Hey, they have somebody in custody. And I'm like, awesome. And then our guys helped hold that perimeter area while they were arresting him. And I want to say they held on to some gear or something. I'd have to double check with them, but they were there assisting the police for that, because they're still in there in holding the crime scene. Yeah. And so how did this guy get there? And they did the search warrant on his house, and they released it. It's like, hey, dump his phone and release that too. Dump the tower information and release that too. I want to see who he was talking to 2, 3, 4, 5 days beforehand. I want to see what towers hit. Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, I want to know, who is this guy and why is he around
all these things?
All these things.
What questions do you have?
You
had some good questions about Robinson.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know who this kid is. I don't want to know that he was there's something that feeds a narrative of hate and division, that he was his boyfriend was trans or whatever, and that they had text back and forth. I want to know. It's like, all right, where did he work? And then who are his coworkers?
Are you really telling me this guy who's connected to the CIA, FBI, has military jobs in, was it 29 countries? He can't get to the bottom of who he is. You couldn't do a little background check on homeboy. He's got couldn't call homeboy and CIA, be like, hey, dude, who is this guy? And then couldn't just leak it out to someone, leak it out through a fake account to Kenneth Owens or to fucking Ryan Matta. Okay.
And did they interview his coworkers? And then I want to see his phone logs and the towers that it hit. I want to interview his friends, and did he have any help? They said, oh, well, we have DNA on the rifle, and I want all that information. That's a good tie right now. From a judicial standpoint, I can understand why they're saying, we don't want to put all this information out because the judge said it may taint a potential jury because they're going to seek the death penalty. And I'm like, from a book standpoint, I understand that. But you got a lot of people out there wondering, hey, did this guy do it by himself? And then you throw my wonder on there. It's like, wow, so he just, the rooftop was clear, and then he jumped up on it, acquired a shooting position, took the shot. That shooting position was a loophole. If it had been 5 meters this way or what, this way wouldn't happen. And then can we go through his phone or his computer and find a Google Earth overhead that he was looking at it days, weeks, months before? Did he access that before? Because obviously it's a problem, because that's how we came up on the information, that it's easily accessed, and how we gave it to the chief to say, hey, chief, you got this, right? I got you covered. So that's information we need to know. I want to know about this kid. I want to know if somebody helped him. Is he a patsy? Is he, was there a group of people?
What's a patsy?
What, is he taking the blame for other people?
What's a patsy? Shawn, are we really supposed to take you seriously? What's a patsy? You're a fucking patsy. Fucking A.
Or is he is he part? Is he a lone wolf? But then we all thought Timothy McVeigh was a lone wolf too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we come to find out, nah, people knew about it. He had assistance, even if it was assistance of we knew you were going to do something, and then we didn't say something. So yeah, I have questions to him. I have questions, and this is horrible because I'm a father. I have questions to his father.
Aren't they saying that he took the rifle apart with a flathead screwdriver?
That's a big one I want to know. And it's like, I know there's footage out there and I don't know what to believe and how it got down. It's like, all right, how did I want to know that? How did the rifle get from the roof to where they found it? That's a big one. How did the rifle get from the shooting position all the way back across to where they found it?
And then it was reassembled when they found it, correct?
I don't think that it ever was disassembled, because even an AR platform, think about it.
You know what I mean?
Pin, break, pull. It's going to take a bit. That's a bolt gun.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Is
it's not going to happen.
I probably should have been a little bit more descriptive about that.
So I want to know about that.
Shooters.
Yeah. And, and there's other things.
Enthusiasts.
Yeah. I look at that and I look at a lot of things that are going on at Turning Point, and because I saw, man, I've seen people say that Erica was involved in it, his wife. I've done a lot of death notifications where I had to tell kids that their parents were dead or their parents that their kids were dead. And I know what pain looks and sounds like. I wake up screaming sometimes, thinking of kids' faces. The words that came out of her mouth and how they came out when she walked in that room and saw him, you don't want to hear that. She's a victim. That's her husband. And now people without any proof are saying that she was a part of killing him. Come on, man. And then not having anything to substantiate it with. That's what makes me lose faith in people. And that we allow it. And that platforms allow it. It's like,
I thought he said he believed in
it goes against everything that we are.
Platforms allow people to question. They just said they don't believe the narrative. They just said they know they're being lied to. They just said they know there's people involved. And just because he says, trust me, bro, like I said, I'm not going there. I was at the memorial. It touched me deeply. Whether I was being mind controlled or not, I literally cried and broke down. The singing of the Christian songs and the hallelujah and everything. I mean, I get hairs on my back of my neck stand up just thinking about it. So I am not willing to go there personally, but I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to. And I'm certainly not saying that platforms should be allowed to. I believe in the First Amendment, but platforms shouldn't allow certain types of speech.
And if we're going to allow that, what else are we going to allow? You hear that kind of pain come from somebody and see it. And I could only imagine the pain she's feeling now by happening to hear that people say that she was a part of it. Those are lies. And so and so then we have that organization. It's got this huge power vacuum going on now, and I'm sure it's affecting it. It's affected me, and so that's an organization with a lot of great people in it doing good things, you know. And so
this game, you're not ready for it.
where do we draw the line to people making allegations of bad behavior? It's a huge question. I mean, could you imagine? Think of this for a second. You lost friends. And could you imagine somebody reporting that one of your friends, his wife, was responsible for their death? What would you want to do to him?
Yeah.
Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me? Okay, so you heard it right there. If something bad happens to me, maybe it wasn't Israel. Maybe it was Homeboy and his little black ops crew who run around in 29 countries and constantly talk about how many bloody bodies and people they've buried and how many wounds they've stuffed and how many kids they've seen chopped up. And he's running around the world doing black ops for CIA and all this bullshit. And they're both in there and they've got their tattoos and they're brothers in arms. I'm sorry, dude. And now you're threatening me? You're threatening anybody who questions it? I guess I didn't question the wife angle, but I'm questioning everything else, and I think a lot of other people are questioning that angle. Do I really think that's the right way to go? Probably not. But is it off the table? Fuck no. A lot of times, spouse is number one person that you question in a homicide. It's usually somebody you know. But I don't think it was her. But she's acting awfully weird. Awfully weird she's acting. But what do you want to do to those people?
And it's like, man, we're better than this. We should be better than this. And we're not. And people are bitching about the leaders we have. And I was like, hey, we get the leaders we deserve.
That's a good point.
And we don't deserve very much right now. On each side. On each side. Both sides. We get the leaders we deserve. If we want to hold them accountable, we should hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah. Are there any other questions you have?
No, I just, I appreciate you. You let me come on, or when I got that phone call, I was like,
here we go again. Deceptive. I appreciate you letting me come on. I mean, when I got that phone call, this guy can't tell the fucking truth for 5 seconds, man. So he called him and said, hey, I need cover. Will you let me on there, brother in arms, fellow black ops homie, fellow contractor, and be there to cover me and to have my back. And then thanks for letting me come on. I mean, thanks for when you called and asked me to come on. It's everything. I mean.
wow. I mean, I've seen the people that have come here, and Don Graves, he sat here, right? That's Eddie Penny, Ben Carson. It's like, man, I don't deserve this. So
it's a lot of humility in this room, man.
Should be thankful for that.
You deserve to be here just like everybody else.
Thanks.
God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dude took zero accountability. Zero accountability. Dude flailed. The highest flail of all time. Why is he in the studio? Getting cover from Shawn? Because they're bros. Because they do the same job. Because they have the same networks. Because Shawn Ryan's homies probably work for their company and they're out of work because nobody wants to hire them anymore. Anyway, I got to roll. I hope you appreciate that. I know I'm super annoying and I kept fucking cutting in, but it's like, honestly, every word that comes out of that guy's mouth is just so off. He would have been way better just not showing up. You just say, oh, you know, hey, I can't talk about it. You know, there's a gag order, blah, blah, blah. Again, the so-called FOIA request, I forget the name of it, but there's an actual request. It's not a federal, it's like a county thing or a state thing, was done. And they refused the information of why they covered over the crime scene because it's classified information. Because if the information got out, it could put people's lives in danger. Why? Why is he lying about the trapdoor, pretending he doesn't even know what people are talking about? Why is he lying about the drones, saying he can't fly one and then admitting he can fly one, but only little itty bitty ones? Why is he lying, saying the commander of force of the college police said he got you, bro, and you didn't follow it up? Why didn't they return fire? Why didn't they try to find out where the guy was? Why does he say there was blood all over his face? I don't see that in any of the videos. Do you? Why does he say he doesn't know he had a heartbeat, even though he's holding his neck? And he's a medic. Even though he's a medic, he goes on to say, well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Why didn't they try to give him compressions then if his heart was stopped? Or it wasn't stopped. It was still running after he lost all that blood. Why at the end then he says, oh, I'm a conspiracy theorist too. Yeah, I've got questions. And then he pawns off every single part of responsibility. I was only in the bubble. They were supposed to be on the roof. They told me they had it covered. They should have had a drone. They should have had the walkway cleared. They should have had an ambulance. They should have had this. You should call them. Why don't you get a FOIA request? Why don't you call the doctor? Why don't you do this? What do you want me to do? It's not my job. This guy is fucking lame. A piece of shit. He's guilty of absolute criminal negligence at the very least. And in his trial, bring up, why is he lying and covering up? This guy is not some random poor little Joe who can't fucking hold it together. This guy like puts together bleeding bodies in freaking Iraq and trains people how to fight and pick out snipers and hand signals and the whole fucking bit, him and Shawn. And he's pretending like, I lost time. I'm a poor little guy. Like, I just don't know. What am I supposed to do? Oh, Lordy, poor old me. Poor old me. I mean, what am I supposed to do? It's just, I lost time. You guys ever seen that? I Lost Time. I'm going to play it for you because that's what he reminds me of. There's an old movie, and it's got Edward Norton in it, and he's got a split personality. And the whole time, the psychologist is like buying into like, oh, he plays this poor guy. Like, I don't know. Like he kills people. And then he goes like, what happened? What happened with the bloody body? He's like, I lost time. Because he loses time. He becomes this other person apparently. And so sorry, I can't type very quickly. And I've got my mic in the way, which is may make it worse. So here we go. Let's see if we can find I Lost Time on YouTube.
And that whole thing about act like a man, Jesus, I knew exactly what you wanted from me. It was like we were dancing, Marty.
Well, I got some good news. They've agreed to stop the trial. They're going to be sending you to a hospital. You can get the help you need. And there's a very good chance that you can get out someday soon. Yeah.
I can't believe it. I don't know what to say, Mr. Vale.
That's all right, Aaron. It's okay.
I knew the minute you came into my cell, I knew everything was going to be okay. You saved my life.
Yeah. I gotta go.
When will I see you again?
Well, that's up to the courts now. I don't want you to worry, Aaron. I'm gonna stay on top of this. Okay? Good.
Thank you.
All right. You give me a call if you need to, okay?
I will.
All right.
Hey, Mr. Vale.
Yeah.
Will you tell Miss Venable I'm sorry? Tell her I hope her neck is okay.
What did you just say?
What?
You told me you don't remember. You black out. So how do you know about her neck?
Well, good for you, Marty. I was gonna let it go. You was looking so happy just now. I was thinking, but to tell you the truth, I'm glad you figured it. Because I have been dying to tell you. I just didn't know who you'd want to hear it from, you know? Aaron or Roy or Aaron. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. Sort of a client, attorney privilege type of a secret, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It don't matter who you hear it from. It's the same story. I just had to kill Linda, Mr. Vale. That cunt just got what she deserved. But cutting up that son of a bitch Rushman, that was just a fucking work of art.
You're good. You are really good.
Yeah, I did get caught though, didn't I?
So there never was a Roy.
Jesus Christ, Marty. If that's what you think, I am disappointed in you. I don't mind telling you. There never was an Aaron, counselor. Come on, Marty. I thought you had it figured there at the end. The way you put me on the stand like that, that was fucking brilliant, Marty. And that whole thing about act like a man, Jesus, I knew exactly what you wanted from me. It was like we were dancing, Marty.
Guard.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that, Marty. We did it, man. We fucking did it. We're a great team, you and me. You think I could have done this without you? You're just feeling a little anger here because you started to care about old Aaron. I can understand that, but... You know, love hurts, Marty. What can I say?
Well, that wasn't the exact part. Maybe you've seen the movie, maybe you haven't. There's a part where he goes, I lost time. I lost time. He lost time. Anyway, I should get off here. But I really wanted that I lost time part. Where is he? No, I guess they're not going to play that part for me. Hopefully you got to watch it. It's a good movie. Are you enjoying the movie yet? I'm not. It's fucking stupid. I'm sick of this bullshit. So, I'm out. I'm gonna leave this here for the thumbnail. And apparently, X always leaves the last scene for the thumbnail, so I will put it on there. And I lost time. And I'm gonna end the stream right now.